Geeks on Tour is now live. Woo-hoo. Hi, and welcome to episode number 237 of our show. What does this button do? It's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us, Geeks on Tour. All right. If you're here from YouTube, go ahead and click on subscribe and notify the bell so you get notified of when we go live. And if you're, give us a thumbs up while you're at it. How about that?
And thank you to everybody who has already.
Okay. Chris has a quick tip just about every show. What do you have, Chris?
Well, this is an easy, fun, but important one. This is one that could save your life. On your home screen of your phone, you need to have the ability for people to find your emergency contact. Now, both Android and iOS have a built-in feature, but it's just not obvious. So I'm going to show you a do-it-yourself. Well, first, let me show you what it is on the Android. Notice I do have just if somebody picked up my phone and tried to turn it on, they could not unlock it. But right here on the lock screen, it has ICE, in case of emergency, Jim and his phone number. On the iPhone, it's even a bit more obscure. If somebody tried to get in and they get to this screen, then there's emergency. You tap emergency and you tap medical ID, and there you get the information. But you have to learn how to fill that information in as well. So I'm going to show you what I call a do-it-yourself. A do-it-yourself method for putting your emergency information right on the lock screen of your phone. And that is to take a photo of yourself with a little sign that has your emergency contact. And if you have any life-threatening allergies, you might want to put that on here too. Anything that a first responder might need to know. So Jim,
Yeah.
Take a picture of me.
Okay.
With, sorry, go back. Yeah, turn it off. Try to turn it on. Ugh. Okay, so I messed up by going in and showing. There you go. Okay, so he's using my phone to take a picture of me with my little sign. Make probably vertical because it's going to go on the lock screen.
Okay, try and smile.
Should I smile? Okay, so now you want to put that on as wallpaper. Check the next slide.
All right.
And just in case you've never changed your wallpaper, I want to explain a little bit. There are two places for wallpaper: lock screen and home screen. So your home screen is what you are usually seeing, but assuming that you have put a password on your phone, and everybody should, then if anybody else just turns on your phone, what they are seeing is the lock screen. So we want to put that photo as wallpaper on the lock screen. And there's two types of images for your wallpaper: the ones that came with the phone or your pictures. So he just took a picture, and I'm going to set it as the lock screen on my iPhone. Set it as the lock screen wallpaper. You do that by going into settings, And lock screen is a top level setting. You just scroll down and wallpaper. So I choose wallpaper. I choose that I want to set a new wallpaper. And that new wallpaper is the photo that he just took. So there it is. And I'll tap on set. Now, I don't want it on the home screen, just the lock screen. And it's done. So now, if my phone is off and somebody picked it up and turned it on, they're going to see that. And the fact that it has your photo on it, I think is good. I mean, if a first responder comes across an accident scene and there's people and phones and cars scattered everywhere, it would be comforting for them to pick up a phone and see, oh, that's her phone. That's her face on that phone. All right. Now I'm going to set that on my Android phone. And you say, well, wait a minute, you took that photo on the iPhone, right? Well, yeah, but since I use Google Photos, the photo that he just took on the iPhone should be available to me. It might take a minute on Google Photos on my Android phone. Come on.
You have it set to sync?
Yeah. It's not synced yet. There we go. So yeah, it takes a minute for the photo taken with my iPhone to sync to the cloud so that my Android phone can see it. But it should be there now. Let me reboot Google Photos. And there we go. So that photo I want to set as wallpaper for my lock screen. Google Photos has that built in. All I have to do is swipe up on the photo and scroll through the options. Use as wallpaper lock screen. Set on lock screen. And this is for colors. I'll skip that. So now if somebody found my phone and they just turn it on, they'll see my face and my information and whatever notifications I have right on the lock screen. So that is my quick tip. Do it yourself in case of emergency information on your phone's lock screen. Very easy.
And it could save
your life. Yeah.
Very important. Yeah. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Jim, and here together with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? Do you have questions about your iPhone, your iPad, or your Android phone or tablet? And how do you learn? How do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads. You're out of costume. Yeah. Propeller head is another word for geeks, but we are geeks who teach, and we think that the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we come up with topics that we think are interesting and important about smartphones and technology for this YouTube show. All of our content is then collected on our website, geeksontour.com. Make sure to check it out.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we now, Chris?
We're home. Nothing exciting, but it certainly is wonderful.
Yeah. It's summer in Fort Lauderdale, and it's hot here and humid, but hey, it's not as hot as a lot of other places out there, so I can't be too upset.
Right now, it says 88 degrees.
Yeah.
And I've heard of other places in the U.S. are over 100. So I'll take it.
Okay. And yeah, let's say hi to some of our live viewers here. Bunch of people. Monrovia. All right. Okemos. Tech Smith's home. That was Al Hurt. Cool.
Remember when we went there for the
For the Tech Smith
screencast camp?
That was fun.
Screencast camp. Yeah, we went to Okemos and we parked our RV in the parking lot of Tech Smith while they had a whole event going on. It was great.
Okay, I want to mention here, Techs for Senior on tomorrow, their show, Monday at noon Eastern time. Chris is going to be their guest
speaker. Yeah.
Guest speaker. So I'll be there to try and make sure that nothing gets too messed up, but we'll give that a shot. Yeah.
So yeah, Tech for Senior tomorrow at noon Eastern time.
Yeah, and Jolin's there.
Thanks. Hey, Jolin.
Thanks for everybody. Okay. Thank you, a special thank you to our premium members. They make our work possible. You can join Geeks on Tour. It's a membership website, and there's some good reasons to do it. One of those benefits is the Backstage Pass. Right after this show, we're going live with a Zoom meeting with all of our premium members. Stop by, say hi. We'll answer your questions if you have any, or we'll just chat and we'll have a good time. So it's a hodgepodge of tech tips today, Chris.
So find a lost phone. So it's kind of a continuation of the quick tip about putting emergency information. Well, what if you can't find your phone? We're going to show you how to do that. Map view of Google Photos. Is that my favorite feature of Google Photos?
You have so many.
It is definitely one of the top favorite features of Google Photos. Sharing Google storage, how you can have two phones with one phone number, a tip on the Samsung camera about panoramas, website icons on home screens, and ending with HEIC photo format. So finding a lost phone, finding a lost iPhone. So here I have an iPhone, and let's say that I don't know where it is. This happened just this morning. It did, and I thought it was on the dining room table, but I could not find it. I looked on the dining room table. It wasn't there.
I hit it
up under a shelf or under a napkin or something like that. I mean, that was it, but I couldn't find it. So what did I do? I went to the web and iCloud.com. So I went to my computer or my Chromebook. This is my Chromebook. And I went to iCloud.com. Then you have to sign in with your Apple ID. And hopefully you have a password manager so you don't have to go look it up and all that. Now it says, well, two-factor authentication. Your iPhone has just beeped and said, what's going on here?
Give me a number.
Well, you say, well, but how do I get a number if the point is I can't find my iPhone? Well, two things. First of all, that'll come through on your iPad if you have an iPad, or no, it didn't come through on the Apple Watch. Oh, yes, it did. Yeah, so on the Apple Watch, I can do that. But notice also, if your iPhone is your only Apple device, right here, you can get quick access. Just if you're trying to find your iPhone, you don't have to fill in those numbers. You can click right here on Find iPhone. And it's done. It's found it. But am I sure this is my iPhone it's found? All devices. I have a bunch of Apple devices.
Doesn't everyone?
So I want to make sure that what I'm looking at is the location and information about my iPhone. So I click there. Okay. And it's cutting off the left side.
Oh. too bad.
I can.
Let's see if I can. Yeah, make it smaller.
I can do it over here. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, it's found it. And yes, indeed, that is the location of my house. So it's in the house somewhere. All I want then is for it to play a sound. And this will play a sound even if your phone is on mute, which mine often is. There it is. So it plays a sound. So if it's underneath a napkin on the table, or if it's in the cushions on the couch, you can find it. Didn't that happen to you?
Yeah, that happened to me with my Android just the other day, and it had fallen into the cracks between the cushions.
Between the couch cushions.
And, you know, found it.
So back to the slide.
Okay.
So for an iPhone, what you want to do is go to iCloud.com, sign in, click Find Phone, make sure you're on the right device, and then you have the choice to play a sound. That's if it's in the house. Now, if you see from the map that it's in Chicago, then you figure that somebody's stolen it and taken it somewhere, and you might want to erase the iPhone or put it in lost mode, which means it locks it and it puts a message on the screen saying, if found, please call. All right. What about an Android phone?
I can tell you all about this.
Yeah. And it's very, very easy. I mean, people think that iPhone is the only one that has this because it's the only one where there is an app called Find My Phone. But if you want to look for a Google phone, an Android phone, all you do is Google for that. I'm in a Chrome browser. I didn't test if this works in other browsers, but if you just go to Google and you search for Find My Android, and it pops right up. And it tells me that it's the Galaxy S21 Ultra that it's looking for. All right. I can click ring. Oops.
Yeah,
I touched it. I touched it too quick, so it stopped ringing, but it was ringing. So, and then it has the other choices too. If you click on recover, it goes to this specific page. See, google.com/android/find. But that's just too hard to remember. So I just search for Find My Android, and you can still get here. And you can still lock the device and put a message up, or if it looks like it really has been stolen, you can erase the device. But the only thing I've ever used it for is to play a sound and find my phone, which has been lost in the house somewhere.
Okay. More slides, huh?
Yeah.
Map view in Google Photos. Chris's favorite.
One of my very favorites. So this is just another way to find your photos. I mean, what's Google all about? What is Google so good at is search. And you probably know that you can search for anything. You can search for, we've had this example, kayaking in Venice. You can search for Chris and Jim and beer, and you will find the photos of kayaking in Venice and Chris. But what if the only thing you know about a photo is where it was taken? That's where the map view comes in. So handy. This is mobile only. You can't do this on the web version of Google Photos, just on the iOS or the Android version. And let me give you a couple of examples. I think I'll use the iPad just because it's a nice big screen. And I go into Google Photos. And so Google Photos on mobile devices has a menu at the bottom: Photos, Search, Sharing, and Library. This has to do with search. And then it's the first tile, they call these. It's the first tile. It says your map. So the main thing people think of is, well, okay, so I just want to see all the photos that were taken in a certain place. So you go to that place. I'm thinking of the Tetons. They keep that somewhere in Wyoming, right? So
Last time I checked, yes.
I'll scroll over to Wyoming, and I see the Tetons National Park. And I don't know, wherever you see the colors, they call that a heat map. That means there were photos taken here. So where there's no heat map, there were no photos, but anywhere there's this kind of purplish dot. And there we are. There's a photo of our little camper van at the Tetons. And that was in 2018. But if I keep scrolling down, I'll see that we were also at the Tetons in 2013. There's a photo of the Tetons in 2013. And here's a photo of the Tetons with our first rig in 2004. So it's a way to see your photos for a location regardless of the date. But there's more.
Wait.
So let's say that somebody is asking, is there a place to park an RV near Chicago? I mean, you would think not, but we were there and we found a great campground just west of Chicago. I don't remember when it was. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I can use Google Photos. I know that I took some pictures there. So I can find Chicago and zoom in on Chicago, and any place where there's a little heat map is where we've taken photos. I say it was kind of towards the west. Let's see, was it that one? Yep, there it is right there. October 2019. There is a photo of this campground that was just west of Chicago. And I have a description. Bullfrog Lake, $45 a night with 30 amp service. Good to know. So
ribbit.
So that's using the map to find. Another example is when my mom was living in an assisted living facility and they moved her. And I needed to remember what room number was her new room number. Well, I took a photo, but I don't know when I took that photo. I do know where. So I can just come back to Fort Lauderdale area and zoom in. To Fort Lauderdale. It was actually Pompano Beach. And find the location. I think that's it. Yeah. And then I can find the photo. I took a fair amount of photos there, but there should just be one. This was in 2017. When you take a lot of photos like I do, it still might take a while, but there we go. So because I can find a photo based on a location, I know the correct room number. So that is using Google Photos Map View to find photos.
All right. How to share your Google storage.
This one is a pre-recorded video here. This is about You know that this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and this video is about setting up Google's family plan for sharing your storage allotment. Google gives every account 15 gigabytes of free storage, but what if you use that 15 gigabytes? And then what if your spouse or other family member is getting close to their 15 gigabytes as well? You might be distressed to think that you both have to pay a minimum of $20 a year to get more storage. No, you don't. Only one of you has to pay that amount, and then you can share it with up to 5 other family members. Let me show you how. For purposes of this demo, we're going to be using 2 Google accounts, Alan and Alice. To be part of a Google One family, you don't need to be related. You just need to be in the same country, and you must not be a part of another Google One family.
The first one is Family One Realty
first we're
at
going to go to
1451 West
Alan's and
Cypress
show
Creek
you
Road,
his
number
account.
300, Fort Lauderdale.
So here I am
The
at
second one is One Family Home Care Services at
I'm signed
2305
in
Coolidge.
with Alan's account. And when you click on storage, you'll see that Alan is paying for 100 gigabytes of storage. 100 gigabytes for $2 a month or $20 a year is the basic plan that gets you a Google One membership. He's not using much of it, so he can afford to share it with Alice. Let's look at Alice's Google One account. Here we are at one.google.com, signed in as Alice. When we click on storage, you'll see that she is using a fair amount. She's up to over 10 gigabytes total. Instead of get more storage, she's asking Alan to share his storage with her. To do that, Alan needs to set up a family. From one.google.com, signed in as Alan, you click on the settings gear, or you can go directly to one.google.com settings and manage family settings and click manage. Get started. This will make Alan the family manager. Create family group, and now we just need to invite Alice. You need to type in the email of the person to invite, but then you do need to select from the list in order for it to apply. And then you send. You will get an email when the family member accepts your invitation. So let's go see what Alice's email looks like. Here we are at Gmail, signed in with Alice's account, and it has an email, join Alan's family group. Alan wants you to join his group. All you have to do is accept invitation and get started. We're getting started with Alice's account. Welcome to the family, view family. And there are just 2 members of this family. The Google One family actually gets you more than just storage, but all we're talking about today is storage. So let's go look at one.google.com for Alice and storage, and it hasn't updated yet. There's one more step. Go to one.google.com, signed in as the family manager, Alan in this case. Click on the gear for settings, manage family settings, and turn on the share Google One with family. Now, when we go back to one.google.com, signed in as Alice, you'll see that storage has increased to 100 gigabytes.
Okay.
Okay. So that's just really important. I know that I pay $20 a year for my storage, but no, it's not just for my storage. Jim can share it too.
Right.
Although he doesn't need it because he has a Pixel, which
for
has
most
its own.
things, have my own, especially for photos and videos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 2 phones are better than one. Backup.
Well, if you've been watching us for a while, you know that I have 2 phones. I have an iPhone a little SE. I love it. And a Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra because it has the best camera. I feel silly having two phones, but I need to teach both Apple and Android, so it's important to me. But when we were traveling in Italy, well, right away.
Well, fairly early on, my phone, my Pixel phone, I threw it on the ground for no good reason, and it gave me a message that said something about the battery was not working and it was real flaky, and I was like, I was panicking. And what do I do? This is our hotspot. This is my phone. This is my yeah.
And we're planning to be in Italy for a month.
Yeah,
what are you going to do for a phone if this
oh,
one
man.
dies?
I would have to find another phone. I would have to do something. And being in a foreign country, it would not be easy because my phone is a Google phone, and Google Fi and all of this other stuff is only available in the United States.
So I felt pretty smug for the fact that I had two phones. If I dropped and one died, no problem. I would just use the other one. And since and since then, I've noticed other people that have two phones. We're in a restaurant and I see somebody with two phones sitting in front of them. So there is some value for having two phones. But no, for the most part, it's really kind of a pain. Although I'll tell you, I do love the fact that this little phone fits so nicely in my hand and in my pockets. But the camera on this one doesn't hold a candle to the camera on this one. So when I need a camera, I use this one. When I just need a phone, I use this one. How do I do that? Do I have to tell people two different numbers? No. Two phones, one number. Next slide. Using Google Voice. So I have one Google Voice number and it rings on both phones. Now, I don't know if you're really going to be able to tell this, but Jim, do call my number. So the Google Voice number is the only one I give out. I don't give out the number that is specifically on the iPhone or on the Android. I just give out the Google Voice number. And when somebody calls my number, my Google Voice number, it rings. On both phones.
If that's for me, I'm not here.
And I can answer it on either phone or on the computer. So how does that work? On this slide here, you see if you go to voice.google.com, it's just a part of your Google account. There is no extra charge for it. If you have a Google account, just make sure you're signed into it. Go to voice.google.com and set it up. I picked a Google Voice number, and then I told it which of my devices I want it to ring on. Pretty cool. Cool.
That's very cool.
And there's lots more with Google Voice too. You used to have it set up so, you can make a business line out of it. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. All sorts of good stuff. All right. One more little quick one.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if there's some questions.
There are a few.
And that's with the Samsung Galaxy camera app. So this is my Samsung, and there is the camera. And all that I see here is this thing called single take, which is weird, and photo and video, then more. There's lots of stuff on more, including panorama. I do use panorama a lot. I would like for it to be on that main list of options. You do that by tapping on this little plus. Now I can long press on panorama and just drag it down and save. So now when I just go to my phone, my camera on the phone, there's panorama right there. I don't have to go to more. So as I say, that's a quick one. A quick one, but very useful. Now, there was a question on the Samsung from before, so let me deal with that now.
The map?
Yeah. So Richard is asking, how do I see the map on the Samsung? Google Photos. So number one, you go to Google Photos on your Samsung device. And number two, it's on the search. Just tap search, and there is your map. I think maybe what you're talking, it used to be a much bigger tile. Now it's the same size as all the other location tiles, but it's the first one, your map. And now the map is on the top, the photos are on the bottom. You can adjust the size. You can click anywhere, tap anywhere to see the photos in that spot. So Google Photos, search.
Okay, add a website icon to your home page.
So what am I talking about here?
Good question.
I go to geeksontour.com a lot.
Why?
Don't you?
Oh, I do.
So instead of having to open up a browser and type in geeksontour.com, I want it to be an icon on my home screen like that right there. That takes me to geeksontour.com. So I'm going to delete that and show you how I did it. Step one, on the iPhone, you have to use Safari to do this. So I don't use Safari very often, but there it is. And you go to geeksontour.com with Safari. Then you tap the share button, the square with the up arrow, and scroll down until you find add to home screen. And you can change the description. I mean, it has all sorts of words up here. I just want it to say geeksontour.com and add. There it is. And it's using, hopefully the website you want has chosen their little icon. So there it is on my home screen. That's with the iPhone, iOS. Open in Safari, tap share, and add to home screen. On the Android, it's basically the same thing, but you use Chrome and you find the website. So here I have my icon for Geeks on Tour, and I will remove it and show you how I get it back. Open up Chrome, go to Geeks on Tour, and tap the 3-dot menu in the top right and add to home screen. And once again, you can make it say anything you want here. I certainly don't want it to have all those words. I just want it to say geeksontour.com. Add and add. Shortcut has been added to home screen. Now it added it to the last home screen, so I can drag it to whatever screen I want. I'll drop it off right there. So that's how to add an icon for a website to a home screen on Android.
You want to get into this HEIC photo format?
Well, we don't have time to actually show this whole video. Let me just tell you a couple of things. HEIC photo format is the default on iPhones, but you can change it. If you're having trouble with photos that end in .heic, you can tell your iPhone not to take it that way. However, HEIC is a good thing. So, don't change it unless you have a reason to change it. This video tells you all about it and how to convert from HEIC to JPEG. If you want to watch the video, you just go to geeksontour.com/ 7:51, because that's the number of the video. It's 7 minutes long, so I don't want to take time here. But and some Androids, my Samsung also has the ability to save in HEIC. Now, it has caused me a little bit of problems with other apps, so I put it back to JPEGs, but it is a better format, and every software will be using it someday, but right now it's still a bit of a problem.
Okay. I want to remind our premium members that there's a Backstage Pass Zoom meeting right after this show. You get the link from an email that Chris sent out just before this or even yesterday, or you can go to geeksontour.com and click on the member login page there, and you can get the link. We'd love to see you there. Other questions? I think we do have a couple here. Let's see. Bill, on Gmail, mark as spam only or spam and unsubscribe? Does the unsubscribe let spammers know that our Gmail account is active? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think they get any indication at all.
I mean, if you're subscribed, if it's a legitimate subscription. Now, if it's a spam subscription, then unsubscribe is doing nothing other than sending. So if you subscribed, then they already have your email, and unsubscribing, okay. But yeah, so generally, no.
All right, Alberta wants to know, why do you have to pay for Google storage if you have a computer that has lots of storage? How are these things different?
Google Photos and Gmail and Google Drive documents are stored in the cloud. They're not stored on your computer. So it is cloud storage that you're paying for.
Okay.
If you need to, you get 15 gigabytes free. And that's enough for a lot of people, not me.
And Challen wanted to know, how do you back up your data? And that cloud is the backup.
So you can have it on your computer and in the cloud.
Okay. Carl, 2 phones, 1 number. What happens when you call someone with either phone? What caller ID does the other person get?
Good question. Well, there's a setting for that. I have mine set that all they get is my Google Voice number. The other numbers are not. So, but let me show one thing.
Okay.
So on the iPhone or on the Android, notice this is my phone. Does that, if you have an iPhone, you'll say, well, wait a minute, that doesn't look like my phone. Right. This is Google Voice phone app. That's the one I use to call people. I do not use that one. That's the Apple phone app that is using the phone's phone number. I use that one. And same thing on the Android. I don't use Samsung's phone. I use the Google Voice phone app.
Okay. Is there a way to create a cinematic version of one of your photos in Google, or do you just have to wait until Google Photos does one at random?
You just have to wait. There is some of the fancy things that Google Photos can do, you can do manually, but most of them, and in case you don't know what the cinematic is, one of these is a really, it made me a cinematic there. That is a cinematic photo. And it makes it when there's a very obvious person and a very obvious delineation between the person and the background.
It is really.
That one is pretty cool.
That one's cool.
I don't know what for, but it's fun to look at.
Okay. Richard says he has the Geeks on Tour on my home screen on the Android phone. All right. We knew we liked you for some reason, Richard. Okay. I think that's all the questions. Let's see. I guess it's time for this. Well, did you learn something? Google Photos Map View is on what menu? A, Photos, B, Search, C, Library, or D, Sharing?
B, search.
True or false? Everyone should use the HEIC file format for digital storage.
False. Not everyone, but it's not bad. It's a good thing. But some people use their photos in other apps where it causes a problem, and you can change it in your phone.
Cool. To find a lost iPhone, use a web browser and go to A, findmyphone.com, B, iCloud.com, or C, iOSsearch.com.
B, iCloud.com.
The software that allows one phone number to ring on two phones is A, Find My Phone Number, B, Telecom Central, or C, Google Voice.
C, Google Voice.
And to make a shortcut on your phone's home screen for any website, browse to the website and then find the setting called what? A, add to home screen, B, make icon, C, save as app.
A, add to home screen.
Great. And when you pay Google for storage, you can share that storage with how many other people? A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5.
D, 5.
So 6 total.
6 total. Yourself, and you can share with 5 others.
Beautiful. Okay. Another reminder, the Backstage Pass, the Zoom meeting, get the link from the email or on our website for you premium members. Thank you so much. Remember to sign up for our free newsletter. It goes out about once a month, close to the beginning of the month. Excuse me. We will not abuse your email address, right?
Right.
That's a trick question.
Yeah, really. In fact, we don't even send
as much
as we should.
Yeah. And members get a whole lot of benefits. One of those is all of the ebooks, including Mrs. Geeks Guide, Learn Google Photos. Great stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our YouTube shows?
geeksontour.com, and then the menu item is YouTube show. You see all 237 of them listed there.
Wow. What's the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and news. You'll see newsletters under there, and there's one a month for the last 15 years.
Ooh, baby. All right. Why do people pay $58 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
Well, there's lots of member benefits. You can ask us any questions in the Q&A. There's the Backstage Pass, like we're doing right now, or in a minute. Access to hundreds of Show Me videos and written notes of these shows. I think the written notes are very valuable. And some people become a paid member just to say thank you for all the stuff we do for free.
Isn't that nice? Okay, become a member. It's only $58 yearly or $68 for a one-year membership. geeksontour.com/join now.
You want to do the couple extra questions?
Yeah, let's see. Where did we go?
I see that one.
Okay. And when you share Google storage, are each of the accounts separate? And can each member see the other stuff? Good question.
Right. That's why I wanted to. They are completely separate. They're just sharing one bucket of storage. So think of it like one storage unit, but everybody has their own door within the storage unit. Okay. Yeah. So no, you cannot see each other's stuff unless other sharing has gone on, but just by virtue of sharing the storage allotment, you do not see each other's stuff.
No, it's private to you. When I send a text on a photo and then go back to look at it after it is sent, It is some random photo.
I have no idea that absolutely shouldn't happen. You send a text with a photo, that's the photo that gets sent. I would have to see that. So if you're a member, you can post that in our Q&A, and I've even been known to arrange Zoom calls with people so I can see what's going on and maybe figure it out.
Cool. All right. So I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour, and we hope to see you next time.
Oh, we do have a next time already set. In 2 weeks, we will have a guest speaker talking about digital estate planning.
Ooh, that should be fun.
There's a lot to know, and it's so important, and it's all new, and nobody knows what to do. So this should be a good one. It's Judy Taylor for those of you who know her.
Okay. Keep watching. Sign up for our newsletters. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.